What's up, guys? My name is Banks Ramsey. I'm the young adults pastor here at The Well, and I want to welcome you to the Well Young Adults podcast. If you're new here, we're a passionate, spirit-filled, Bible-believing community located here in North Atlanta. And our heartbeat is to simply see young adults living fully alive for Jesus. Thanks so much for being a part of our broader community. We're so glad that you're here. Now, let's dive into this week's episode of the Well Young Adults podcast.
Before we get started, tell us about your first date. You guys' first date, like together.
Still not on? Vox 4? I don't know what's up with Vox 4.
Maybe
we have another mic. I can kick us off here. For those of you who don't know, this is Abby, my wife Abby. Many of you probably know. But yeah, our first date was at Waffle House.
Down the road.
After the
one
well.
Right over here?
Which we met, the Waffle House right over here in Crabapple.
Ooh, which booth did you sit at?
But it was really like, it was an unofficial date. What'd you say?
So what booth did you sit at?
The one closest to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yep.
All the way up in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was your waiter or waitress? Was it Wendy? Do you remember her?
You know,
She wasn't like,
Okay. Oh, it wasn't memorable. Not great service, apparently.
it wasn't her.
Yeah.
do we have another mic coming potentially?
Yeah, if somebody's gonna, yeah, we have
There
one.
we go. It's live. 4 is good. I know you would love to be as close as possible.
Share a mic.
I would love that.
Oh, it's working.
There we go. Amazing.
She's in. Okay.
Yeah, Abby and I met at the well, down in the gym, building 300.
That's right. I was there. Actually, me and Abby met before you and Abby met, so
We
we go
did.
back
Crazy.
before you guys go back.
Yeah.
We do.
Abby came up to me and she said, "I just feel like I'm supposed to meet you." And I was like, and I remember looking at her.
I said, I feel like God told me that I needed to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like is like a powerful
crazy?
statement. I feel like anybody would be like, oh my word.
What was your reaction to that,
She hears
Banks?
from God.
I remember going,
That was the goal. I hope it was true.
yeah, no, I think it
I
definitely
think my
was true.
intentions were pure.
And I remember looking at her going, amazing. Like,
Great.
I think so too. And then a week later, we went to Waffle House. And then we didn't date for an entire year. And many of you already know this.
Yeah.
But then we started dating and got engaged 3 months after dating, and then got
2.
married.
2.
2 after we were
Okay.
officially dating. 2 months engagement, and then we got married that next May.
So when you went on your first date, was Waffle House like an official date, or was it like a let's just like get to know each other date?
It was an interesting night. It was 1 week after we met, so it was very premature, I would say. But I think you were just excited to be with me.
Yep.
What do you
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, absolutely.
so when you guys because you said you like dated for a little bit, or you tried
Is this
to
one
date.
of the questions, or?
This is a Maggie question. I want to know
Okay,
this.
okay,
So
okay.
so
I
you
wanna
guys
know what
like
you're gonna say.
started to date, but then didn't, and then you ended up dating for real before you got engaged. That first date and that period of like, okay, we're for real dating. What was that date like?
Like the situationship
Just
phase?
like what'd you do? Yeah, no, okay,
Not
so
the Waffle House one, but
No.
the next one. Okay.
The next
She's
one.
talking about a year later
a year later.
in
Oh,
September.
yeah. Yep.
So we ended up going to the mountains, actually, to go hiking. Devin was
Yeah,
there.
that's right.
And shout out. And we went with another couple that had just
Yep.
started dating, and they asked, he was going, and then I got asked to go, but it was just the 4 of us riding in a car.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl was like, hey, like, we're doing this hiking thing, but like Banks was gonna see if you wanted to come too. And I was like, what? And then when I realized it was the 4 of us in a car, and they're dating, I was like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. The intuition
Yeah,
kicks
this is
in
kind of
immediately.
like, he might have a crush on me after all this time, you know.
I was expressing interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy? This thought just popped into my mind. I remember, we'll get to the question after this. This is my last squirrel thought. But I remember being here on a Sunday. You called me into your office. You're like, hey, I have to like tell you something real quick. And I'm thinking like I'm in trouble or I did something that he's upset about. And I go in there and we sit down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really did something bad. And he kind of looks down and he goes, think I like Abby. And I'm like, whoa, do you remember this?
Vaguely.
This was so long ago. And then you guys went on your first date.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, oh my
true.
gosh.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Our first like official date, he actually took me to a wedding as his date.
Whoa, big
Yeah,
first date.
Which I felt like was kind of intense for
Yeah.
a first date.
that was
Like
fun.
normally first date you like go to dinner or something.
Mm-hmm.
He took me to a wedding and like
Yep.
introduced me to all these people he knew. So
Set the tone.
yeah.
Go for it. Love it.
period.
Yeah.
He was like throwing you in.
Yeah,
You
no,
were wearing
100%.
an orange dress.
I was.
And I was wearing a green corduroy button down.
Oh, you remember what you were wearing?
It was my
babe.
Tacovas, yeah. I remember it well.
Cute. He remembers details. That's
Yeah,
so
we
Yeah.
both had boots. We like took a picture, actually just like this. My legs are hairy, so that's
Yep.
why my. Sorry, guys. I'm a mom now, so.
The picture
But
was
like our
feet.
picture was our feet.
Oh, your
It was
toes were
really cute.
touching.
We were
Your
sitting
feet.
in the, again,
It was super flirty.
yeah, it
So cute.
was good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump into the questions because we
Let's
have
do
a
it.
lot of great ones, and I kind of just wanted to like set the dating tone, just
Yeah.
have fun. That was also kind of a me question. I just really wanted to know some of those details, but
Yeah.
let's get to the actual questions. We had a lot of questions being submitted over these past few weeks, and the questions were great, and it was so hard to like. There were so many, it was hard to narrow them down, but I think we got them to a point where we can kind of hit on everything that was asked, and maybe not ask every single question, but we can really work through these topics really well. So let's start out touching on singleness just for a little bit and identity and kind of like who we are as we want to begin dating, but we're in this season of singleness where it's not quite happened yet, but that's where our heart's desire is. So somebody asked, there are a lot of things that people tell singles, like when it's the right time, it'll happen, or when you stop looking, it will happen. Do you have any personal experiences or advice that can help in those moments of desire or frustration?
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was a great question, because that's such a common thing people don't talk about very often.
Yeah. You know, I'm a shoot from the hip kind of guy. Abby is a little more, she's a little more of a planner.
Prepared.
So you probably have a more articulate answer than I do. But just let me preface the answer to that question to the hopes of this conversation, that it's just like a round table conversation that we can have as a young adults community around dating and some things that helped Abby and I, some things that we did wrong because we didn't do everything perfect. Mm-hmm. But also just the hope is that God's word would help inform us as to how we should date.
Yeah.
Like this isn't Banks's advice or Abby's advice. The aim here is that the Spirit of truth, that God himself would give us instruction as to how we should operate and work toward marriage, which is something that God orchestrates. God brings a man and a woman together, and it's the most beautiful relationship on the face of the earth between two people. Mm-hmm. And so this is just a fun conversation, and I pray that the single people are encouraged and you get some direction. I pray for the dating couples that you're encouraged, you're convicted, you're inspired. I pray that you, and then the people who are married, there are a couple people married in here, that this would just, maybe serve as a cool reminder of the dating phase.
Or some of these things you could probably carry into your marriage. So
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So just to answer your question, the single phase, and I can't remember exactly how you worded it, but I remember dating people all throughout high school and college, or at least talking to somebody in college for a couple of years. I was always talking to somebody, always clinging to somebody, because it gave me this sense of security, this sense of control, honestly, this sense of like, okay, I have somebody with me. And it wasn't until my senior year of college that my girlfriend broke up with me, and I realized, oh my gosh, like I don't know who I am at all.
Without somebody.
I have no idea who I am without somebody. I dated a girl for all 4 years of high school.
Yeah.
And the majority of college was spent talking to or dating this girlfriend who ended up breaking up with me. And so I finally reached a point senior year where I realized I need to figure out who I am. Mm-hmm. Like I need to build this sense of identity without having a girlfriend alongside. Mm-hmm. And so I entered into this season of singleness.
Yeah.
And I just sought God as hard as I could.
Yeah.
And I listened to this song, Lost in Your Love by Brandon Lake. And in this season of singleness, God, he truly, his love overwhelmed me and met me and transformed me and catapulted me into the man that I've become now. And I'm extremely, extremely, extremely thankful for that season of singleness. Had I not experienced it, I would not be, the husband that I am. Not that I'm a great husband. I think I'm okay.
You're great. Don't worry.
But I wouldn't be resolved in my identity had I not walked through that wilderness season of singleness. It's amazing how God reveals a lot when we get alone with him.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. That's great. What do you have, Abby?
There were a couple things that I feel like the Lord was speaking to me today. And honestly, a lot of the moments that I had with the Lord were revolving around singleness. And I actually, at one point today, started kind of tearing up and feeling that emotion of like sometimes the loneliness and the heaviness that you feel when you're single. Because I obviously am not anymore, and so I haven't really thought about it in a while. I'm like, what did I learn in my singleness, and what do I wish I had learned? Like, where should I have been more intentional? And I think, like, I never realized, like, how much more quality time is available to you with the Lord when you are single. Now that might sound kind of like, okay, whoa, awesome. I have all the, no, like, it is so difficult to find the kind of time that you had when you had less, not people to answer to, but kind of. I mean, especially
100%.
now that I have a child, it's like, it kind of like gets slimmer and slimmer. And like, obviously, like with intentionality, you can still spend time with the Lord through intentionality, and waking up earlier and going to bed later, or whatever you need to do. But I feel like I didn't like see that until it was like too late. And then I was like, dang, like I wish I had been like, like soaking up like every moment that I got like an hour alone with him instead of like 10 minutes or something. Because now if I get 10 minutes, I'm like, I get sad because I'm like, I have to, like, Brecklin is screaming in my ear, and like, she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Obviously, Banks too. But like, it's hard to like, you kind of have to move on at some point with the day. And so I think just like taking those moments and like waking up in excitement because he's already waiting for you. And then some other things I was thinking is like there's less potential for idolization of other people or things and distractions. Because when you get married, it's easy to idolize your husband. It's easy to, like, there's just so many distractions, like I said, kids, so you can just be focused. And then another thing I said was, like, literally, like, availability. Like, thinking about our schedule and how much we have going on now. Like, as a single person, like, take the time to, like, hang out with friends, do, like, what you want on the weekend. Like, that's so practical, but Banks and I, like, literally, we share a schedule, like on Gmail or whatever, and it's like every week, like everything's booked up, you know what I mean? And there are things that we can make time for it, but we don't get to see friends or like go on adventures as much as we did. When we were single, you know, before you have a person, because when you have a person, it's great, but then you normally do it with that person. So you're not getting maybe like the community of singles and like the fun things you want to do.
Yeah. Just that season of singleness, kind of to sum up what you were saying, it's so valuable. And it's like we need to learn how to behave while we're single so that our future spouse doesn't have to tell us how to behave.
Exactly. Honestly.
For real, it's just learning in that season how to go deep with God and how to have self-control and how to find a sense of identity in nothing other than him. That's the most valuable lesson that anybody can ever learn. Like this true sense of identity in Jesus. If I were on an island alone with him, like he would be enough. Like that was the place that I got to after that breakup. Like I truly reached that place. And it was amazing. I was free of every obligation. I could just pursue God. It's exactly what Paul talked about to the church at Corinth. He's like, singleness, it's an amazing gift. You're free of any worldly obligation. You can simply delight in God and pursue him with everything. And it was amazing. Like sometimes I look back on it, like you're kind of saying now, I wish I could have that. A little bit of me wishes I could still have that.
And we're just being real. Like we love being married to each other, but like there are things that you might be missing to like be excited and be grateful for. Like it's different things than what you have in marriage, but like don't take it for granted because then when you're married, you're thinking about all the things you got to do when you're
Yeah,
single.
that's so true.
One other thing I was going to say is like start asking God to like chip away at the things he wants to chip away. Don't wait till you're married to be like, oh my gosh, I'm a hot mess.
Yeah.
Because like I, am a hot mess. But I feel like if I had maybe like opened up like my hot messness to like God and been like, hey, like let's start working through this stuff. I think it would cause a lot less pain in our marriage because I would be more ready, and
Yeah,
nobody's
yeah.
ever perfectly ready, right? But
Yeah.
I just think like to start when you're single going, Lord, what are the things like, it says, God, search my heart and know me. Like ask him that every day. Like, who do you want me to become? Because it's only going to get harder in marriage and, that person starts bringing out the worst. So you'd rather have less of the worst,
Yeah. Well, and I even say too, like there's so many people
Yeah,
who,
I
and
love
I
that.
remember feeling this way. I remember feeling so torn because I wanted to enjoy being single and I wanted to soak it in, but I also really had this desire to be in a relationship. And I remember that conflicting in my head and going like, I feel like I'm either like wanting the wrong thing or like I'm too focused on the desire in my heart to want a relationship when somebody had to check my heart for me and say that that desire that you have for a relationship is from the Lord because marriage is a covenant given to us from God. And so it's not a desire, like us having that desire is not us pushing away like the season of singleness and being ungrateful for it, but at the same time, when you have that desire, start asking the Lord exactly what you're saying to chip away at the things that he needs to chip away at or to prepare you to be a great wife and a great mom or a great husband and a great father because he can do that when you're single. He can teach you how to enjoy the little mundane things that you're going to have to do around the house one day or all these different things. And I would even challenge the people who are thinking that way when they hear the statement, when you stop looking, it'll happen, because I remember being told that so many times. And I used to take that way out of context and be like, okay, I'm not looking. And then I'd be like, like I'm kind of looking, but I'm like not, And it took me realizing that statement wasn't like, don't pretend that you don't want a relationship.
Yes.
Just quit focusing on it so much to where you're not
Yes.
focusing on the Lord and what he's trying to do in your life.
Yeah.
And so
Amen.
when I finally realized that, I was like, oh my gosh. And then there was a time where I was so focused on who was around me and the guys that were around me. And then I was kind of like, you know what? Like, I think I'm going to just really give the Lord some time. And once I gave the Lord that time and he prepared me, then that relationship came. And so it is kind of like when you stop looking, it'll happen, but it's not really like don't look for it. It's just, what are you focusing on? What's your main priority in that season? So
Yes.
I would just kind of challenge anyone who's thinking that way of like, oh, when it's the right time or oh, when I stop looking. Just challenge yourself to say, what are you focusing on? What are your priorities?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the difference between when I first went on a date with Banks and then when we went on a date a year later was like my focus. I feel like when I met him, I was like, it was clear. Like the way I even acted, like my focus was so different. It was like, oh, I like what I see. I want attention from him. I want somebody. I'm lonely. My last relationship was so hard. I want to redeem that. Like my focus and even my mental space was so different.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Max, like my focus throughout the year just changed because the Lord really did a number on me in a good way.
Yeah.
And it kind of honestly was God's perfect timing because Banks was in a different relationship. And so it forced me literally to like switch my focus because I'm like, well, I'm not going to get what I want right now. There's nothing I can do to get what I want. And so I guess I should just like try this whole like God thing again.
Yeah.
And that's when, he did the work. And I do think Banks was attracted to, and this isn't why I did it, but Banks was attracted to the fact that I was like very focused on the Lord. I was just sold out. I was content.
Yeah. That goes great into our next question. What qualities matter most in a godly relationship? And we talked quite a bit about this last summer, and I feel like our answers to what we said back then probably still stand now.
Yeah.
But just kind of off the top of your head, what are maybe your 3 most important qualities to find in ultimately a spouse one day when you're trying to pursue a relationship in a way that honors the Lord? What are those 3 non-negotiables? Obviously, we'll just lay out the given. They have to love the Lord. But what else do you think is really, really crucial in order to have a relationship that's honoring to the Lord?
Yeah, there's so many things, but one thing that popped in my head when I was praying about today, this is probably more specifically for women, but I felt like the Lord gave it to me in kind of a funny way, but just, don't necessarily be enticed by the whole like mysterious guy vibes. I don't know if anybody's ever been there, but to me, it's important to see like the fruit of someone's life. Like, I don't want to see like mysterious, like, ooh, I have to figure you out. Like, ooh, I don't know what I'm going to find on the other side.
Yeah.
I think in today's culture, like all the movies, like all the books, like the guy that everybody wants to be with is the one that's not really giving a lot of information. And like, you don't know if he's like a murderer. Like, you're like, who are you? We don't know any information
Clarity's
about you.
kindness.
Rusty from Ocean's 11.
No, literally. That's a perfect example. We watched that, 2 nights ago?
Yeah,
anyways.
That's not a
Wait, I totally missed what you
recommendation.
said. What'd you say?
Never mind.
Okay,
Ocean's
yeah.
11. It's not important.
Scratch that. We'll keep
Scratch that from the record. But seriously, I think as women, just specifically, and then if you're a man, you can look at my point and go, don't be like that.
Yeah.
I think like we look at the mystery and we can be enticed and intrigued by that. And I've had multiple relationships like that. And it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not. What you find on the other side years in is normally... there's a reason that there's a mysterious front, and it's normally unresolved trauma. I'm not saying anybody that seems mysterious definitely has trauma, but I'm saying, like, let's be smarter about the way that we pick.
Yep.
And let's not just let it be like, he seems interesting. Okay, what is he doing? Like, what are his actions? What are his words? What are his friends like?
Yeah.
Like, what is the fruit in his life?
Yeah. That's great. What about you, Banks?
It's good. I would say there's an overarching theme with all of these characteristics I'm about to say, but somebody who is genuinely sold out for Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like somebody who doesn't just think Jesus is a good idea, or he's a way, or a truth, or, he was a good man that died 2,000 years ago, and like, he was all right. Somebody who believes that Jesus is the Messiah.
Yep.
Somebody that believes Jesus is the Savior of the world.
Yeah.
And they love him with all of their heart, soul, mind, and strength. That is the greatest non-negotiable. That's the greatest quality in a person that you can find. But more specifically, I think in being married, I'm able to see this now. And I believe that in that season, I definitely recognized it in you, and I was drawn to it, but I didn't have language for it, or I couldn't put it on paper. But the first word would be responsible. Somebody who is simply responsible.
I would say in every aspect, financially, in their walk with the Lord, in their relationships with people.
Yeah.
That kind of covers a broad aspect.
Yeah. They're responsible with their work. They're responsible stewarding their finances. They're responsible with stewarding friendships, relationships. Their room is not a complete mess. Like there is some level of order in their life.
Yeah.
Responsible is a big one. And then there was another R that came to mind a minute ago. Yeah, it was resilient. Somebody who has been through the mud. Somebody that can weather the storm.
Yeah.
They have a story. They've walked through something very challenging and hard before. Because marriage is hard. And I understood that before because I heard it from my parents and other people, other dating podcasts and YouTube videos. But find somebody who knows how to weather a storm. Somebody who has a sense of resiliency. And then the third thing I would say is humility. Somebody who will humbly recognize when they're wrong.
It's good.
When you get married, that's really important because if you have two people who are prideful or arrogant and can never let the other know when they did something wrong, they can never humble up, it's challenging.
It's gonna be like
Am I right,
hell.
Manny and Finley? Y'all know what's up.
It's going to be
Y'all
like hell
probably
on
been
earth.
learning that.
I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
literally is.
And we've had those moments.
And God opposes the proud, but he gives
Yeah.
grace to the humble. So you want to marry somebody that God doesn't oppose. Let me
Yeah.
put it like that. And he'll give grace to the person that is humble.
Yeah.
So I would say responsible, resilient, and humble.
That's great.
Yeah, and with humility, I feel like you want to marry somebody who would be willing to say, I'm sorry first, because it gets, Banks is good at saying I'm sorry first, but like, it would get old if one person always had to be the
Always had
person
to
who
say.
was apologizing or like walking on eggshells with the
Yeah.
other person. Like you have to have humility, period.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to say is like, nobody's perfect. And I think that in this generation, we, make up in our heads this like perfect person. And I think like, as much as I'm not saying don't have any standards or don't have any like non-negotiables, I think that's important. But I think when you make up this perfect person in your head, as soon as you get married to them, you're like, I hate you. Like you realize that they're not perfect, and it's not fair because, by the way, neither are you.
Yeah.
And so stop holding people to standards that they
Yep.
can't meet. I
That's
think obviously this is like, okay, we're in church, I'm going to say this. No, like this is true because I've gotten married and I've walked it. Like the number one most important thing is that they're saved, and not only saved, but have a deep relationship with the Lord. Because I also know a lot of friends who are in Christian marriages, but just because they're a Christian doesn't mean that they're like hearing from the Holy Spirit, doesn't mean that they're producing fruit in their life.
Yeah.
Like they could still be a very passive or like
Yeah.
nominal Christian. Like maybe they're not deep with the Lord.
Yeah.
And an example I have that I was talking to Banks about earlier is I used to be like, think it was kind of like whatever, like if the guy is not saved, like he might get saved later, and like, you hear those stories and whatever. And so I started going on some dates with this guy, and
Total dud.
No. He was actually a really sweet person and had a good heart, but he was not saved. And this was the same year that I started dating Biggs, but like way earlier that year. Anyways, too many details. And so I actually started trying to convince my parents. I'm like, no, like he's treating me better than all these other guys have. Like it's okay that he's not saved. And like I think it was hurtful for me that he actually was treating me better than some of the Christian guys I had gone out with. So Christian
facts right
guys,
there.
like,
That's good.
like let's act like Christian men. We're
Yeah.
supposed to be in the world but not of the world. We're supposed to be different, set apart.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't seeing the set apartness of the Christian guys I had gone out with. And so I was going out with this guy who I guess was an atheist rower. And I was like, he's so sweet. And I remember when I realized it wasn't gonna work was when we started getting to this argument and he was being prideful, and I said, you're being prideful. And he was like, I know. And he did not have an issue with it. He didn't see that it was a sin.
Yeah.
He didn't think that it was
It's
sinful. He
huge.
probably wasn't even thinking about sin
It's big.
because he didn't believe in God. And so I was like, oh, heck no. Like, I remember sitting there and being like, he doesn't think there's anything wrong with being prideful. We have no foundation. We have nothing to work with. And the relationship was over.
One thing I would add to the list of things that we just walked through, was to be unoffendable. Like, you need somebody who's going to be unoffendable, because if you're trying to walk into a relationship and you're trying to help each other grow,
Yes.
there's going to be times where you have to call out somebody in the person that you're dating, call out something in the person that you're in a relationship with,
Yes.
and it's going to be uncomfortable. But if they're not receptive to at least sit and say, you know what, I'm going to reflect on that, and I'm going to look at my life and see if there's a way that I need to correct that.
Yeah.
If they just instantly get offended and they're like, no, like that, what, you're the one that's overreacting. Can you not see that you might be overreacting, but if they're not willing to at least check themselves and be humble and say, you know what, I'm gonna go look at that, then you're setting yourself up for even more future failure. So I'd say at least that's one of mine. Is
That's good.
To have an unoffendable heart.
That's
so
that's
good.
really good. That's like an offshoot of offense is an offshoot of pride,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
But kind of back to what you were saying, conviction, marrying somebody, and this is what we talked a lot about last year, and we talked about it last week too. And I stand by that marrying a person of conviction is one of the most valuable things, because you're not going to have to coach them or
Yeah.
tell them what's right or wrong. God will
Yeah.
do that for you.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't have conviction, then they've never seen Jesus.
yeah,
But if somebody has conviction, what do I mean by conviction? They have integrity. They'll do what's right no matter who's watching. They believe in the truth of God's word, and they fear God. That's somebody who has conviction.
yeah.
But somebody, when you see a man or a woman with conviction, true conviction, I think that's because they've truly seen God. They have actually personally spent time with Jesus.
Yeah, they've been touched by him.
Yeah.
And they care what they do.
And to that, somebody asked this question: how do you navigate wanting to date somebody, but you feel a conviction that they're not in a spot to be dating yet, or that they need to grow in their relationship or heal from the past? Pay attention to your own convictions too. I mean, if you're somebody who's walking with the Lord and you have a great relationship with him and you're pursuing him, you're seeking him daily, and you feel a conviction, whether you're in the relationship or whether it's something you're pursuing, pay attention to your own convictions. Yeah. Like, the Lord can speak to you just as much as he speaks to somebody else. So if there's somebody that you have your eye on and you really are interested, but you have that feeling of like, something's telling me that they're not ready yet, wait.
Yeah, chances are, if you feel like they're not ready, they're not.
Yeah.
And I
it's
think
not your job to fix them either, and
no,
to make them ready, you know?
Absolutely not. And don't take that on. Yeah. I think like that's another thing I realized when I was dating previous people is like I was taking on a lot of darkness that they were experiencing. And so be careful, even when you just consider dating, not even stepping into marriage. Obviously, we should be considering marriage when dating, but I think even if stepping into like dating somebody, like you should consider like, are they okay? Mm-hmm. Like if you're like, I don't think they're in a place, don't even go out with them once. Like just save yourself the time and the pain, honestly, because once you start like, especially if you're like me, where you're like, I just want to help, like, oh dear, like you just need to save yourself the trauma and just back on out.
What do they call that? Missionary dating?
Oh,
don't missionary date.
Oh yeah, try to convince them. Yeah.
This next question, I love this question, and Banks, I'm asking this to you because I kind of giggled at it, but not because it's like a horrible question. It's just because it's like, dang, they just said it how they felt. Banks, why are guys in the church not asking out girls in the church? Guys talk about girls they like all the time, but are so slow to the draw.
So slow to the
draw.
So
what's the deal?
Okay, King. Slow to the draw.
You want the short answer or the long answer?
Long.
What's the holdup? How many women are like seeking to know this answer right now?
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know too, and I'm not single, but like I would love to know.
So why does it take long for guys to ask out girls?
Like, I think this is kind of saying like there are guys who are like, oh, I think this girl's really pretty, or like, oh, I'd love to take this girl on a date, but then they never do. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
What
I think there are a few reasons. Number one, some guys know that some girls are shallow, and they may not give them a chance. I think that's one reason. It's true. Am I right, guys?
Shallow?
Shallow meaning that they may not be a 10 out of 10 on your imaginary scale of handsomeness. And so some guys are a little timid because they're like, I might get rejected.
Oh, like they're scared.
Yeah. I think that's a real reason that some people don't. But then I'd argue to that guy, like, come on. She shouldn't say yes to you if you don't have that type of confidence.
Yeah, no.
But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm just saying, probably that's one reason.
Yeah, nobody wants to feel bad for anybody. Nobody wants to feel sorry.
Yeah, no pity.
Like if you get rejected, like to all the guys, don't be scared of rejection. You get rejected, it's just kind of part of it.
Yeah.
And then I think the second reason would be some guys are gamey. Meaning they like that chase. They like that attention. They like playing the games. They don't want to be committed or obligated to somebody. And so they just keep their options open.
It's like making me like,
yeah, it's very true, though. Very, very true. People, they know they've got options, and they're just kind of sitting in that pool of options.
Yeah, we don't like that.
And they're soaking in that attention. That's true. No, for real, it's true. I heard somebody throw up on the front row. But it is true, and I mean, I can testify to that because I was that. Yeah. I'm just letting you on the inside of a guy's brain. Truly, like it is disgusting. It's bad, and I was able to grow through it and decided. Like,
thank God. For me.
But I mean, that's real,
So
everybody likes attention.
Follow-up question to that then. So let's pretend that you're in that spot where you're just like terrified of rejection. Let's go back to when you and Abby, before y'all dated, you see Abby, you're like, oh, I really want to ask her on a date. I think she's great. I love what I see in her, but I'm so terrified of rejection. And then you go up and you ask her out. as the guy, what are you like, women, please do this, or like, please, like, does that make any sense? I don't know how to word it the right way, but I'm like,
Yeah,
for
give
a
the guy
guy
a
to
chance.
work up the courage, like you have just worked
Yeah.
up the courage to go ask Abby out.
I
What's
think
the
there's
least she could do in
I
that
think there should be some preliminary conversations that would avoid a lot of rejection. And these preliminary conversations would be guys consulting in guys,
Yes.
other guys, other wise men,
Consult.
and this, like, hear me, and asking your friends, hey, is this a good idea? Do you think this relationship would work? Do you think that I'm in a place to ask this person? And I think that would avoid a lot of rejection. So if we had guys who were actually ready and compatible with other women asking,
Yeah.
then our success rate would be a lot higher.
True.
It's true. Am I right, Manny, or am I right? I'm right.
We need Manny up here with the mic.
That's what I would say.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
So just, Proverbs 15, I think, 20 says, a man with many advisors, somebody who has a council of people,
Yeah.
like there you'll find wisdom.
Yeah. That's good.
I also think just have a little discernment. Like if we're talking from a guy's perspective, like, does she seem to like you at all? Because like I wouldn't like, and I'm not trying to be rude at all.
Very
like
true, no.
I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, is there any sign that's telling you that she would want
Oh,
you to ask her
gosh.
out? Because
This
if
is
there's
so good.
nothing, if you're getting nothing,
It's so good.
it's like, that's bad. Like you're gonna get hurt. Like
Yeah.
don't do that. But like if she's like, if she's like giving you, like that attention and like she treats you different than other guys
Yeah.
and like if you can just tell, like with Banks and I, like we could just tell, like there was just a vibe between us.
Can
and
I chime in on that?
Sure,
I
absolutely.
think that's so good. Kindness is a character trait.
Yeah.
And interest in another person is a matter of persistent pursuit.
Yeah.
And so some people get confused and mix signals from people because you may not understand, okay, this person, he's just being kind. Like that could be, he's just being kind and you're reading too much into it. But then sometimes guys will give you, or girls will give guys this intentional attention persistently.
Yes.
And like those antennas need to be up to determine if this person is interested in me or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So kindness and, what did I say?
Intentional pursuit or like persistent pursuit.
Kindness and
there's a big difference
interest.
between kindness and
Interest.
yes.
Yeah. Kindness is a characteristic or character trait. And I keep forgetting this word. Interest is a matter of persistent pursuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And be clear. Like if you're a
Yeah.
guy, just be clear. Like I think the more clear the better. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to doesn't need to be confusing.
Yeah.
If you think she'll say yes,
Yeah.
just say it.
So then this goes along with what we're talking about, and this might be like both of you have an answer to this question, but somebody asked, how do I know when a man or a woman is showing interest versus when he or she is just being my brother or sister in Christ? I'm trying to put it in a
Kind.
perspective of like
Being
from a guy
kind.
and the girl.
I think that's basically what we just hit on. Probably, right?
Just being kind, but then what's the difference? I think what they're trying to hit at is like, how do I know when they're just being
Oh.
kind versus they're trying to show interest?
I think it's that persistence, right?
Let me think.
Well,
I think
somebody
also-
could be persistently
Look at how they
kind.
treat other people
Yeah,
too.
that's what I was
okay,
gonna say.
here's the thing. So I would look at like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm talking from a
yeah,
girl's
this is
perspective.
good.
It's like, okay,
So
let's look
good.
at how he's treating all the other girls, and let's just use our logic and go, is he treating her this? Am I the only one special? Okay, first of all, there's a potential that he's just kind and he's treating everyone kindly. Then there's a chance that he's a flirt and he's just flirting with everybody, which means definitely
very
run the
good.
other
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Because
Very
he might
good.
be a playa.
Yes.
Or
good.
like if he's just giving you special attention, like that will probably stick out. And I think that's where that lands on you to be intentional with your pursuit.
Yeah,
Like
clear.
don't be that guy that's like nobody can tell what he means because he's flirting with everybody. Like pick who you like, and if you think she would like you back, go after it. Like it's that simple.
And to some of the guys, we're naive. Truly. I mean, I have found myself to be very naive.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I'll do things because I'm kind, but sometimes girls read into your kindness.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so we have to be careful in how kind we are to people.
that's good.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Like, and don't overthink your kindness. I mean, come on. That's a great characteristic. That's such an amazing trait. But with women in particular, we don't want to send mixed signals.
Yeah.
Here's like a good example, I think. Like back in the, I don't know when this was, but at one point you brought me,
My mind right
you
now.
bought me and brought me a coffee. Okay, like drove there to Starbucks, got it. This is like before we were dating or anything. Like picked it up, brought it. He doesn't drink Frappuccino. Like he wouldn't touch a Frappuccino. So like the fact
too
that
much sugar
and then
and
when he got
soy.
there, he hadn't even gotten anything for himself. So it's like, okay, that is something that would trigger to me, like he likes me. If he's doing that for, okay, if he did it for a whole team, that would go, okay, he doesn't like me. He did it for everybody. But if he just does it for me, I think that's like a pretty like good sign, like he's into me.
All right, I'm going to close my eyes when I say this. Actually, I'm not going to say it.
Good. We're going home together. Be careful.
Well, no, it wasn't about you. It was about, say it. You want me to say it, Jason? This is good. This is very good. Again, guys, like we need to consider women, and we need to be very clear with them. Some guys would take on that gamer mindset,
Yeah.
and they would get coffees, and they would do that, but not say they're interested, but like low key they're interested, or they low key like the attention. And I'm telling you, it's just honest. Like that's true.
A feeler, like
And
feel
so,
it out.
but we can also have friends and bring them coffees if they're the opposite sex. But we just need to clarify with them that we're friends,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, friend
Make
zone.
it very obvious. Or
Yeah.
get coffee for everybody, unless it's like your best friend.
Yeah.
And
Like,
also,
yeah.
all women, if you're confused, ask for clarity.
But it's
Yeah.
definitely the man's job to like lead in that. But I think
Yeah.
yes, if you're confused, ask for
Yeah.
clarity.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting mixed signals.
Yeah,
Clarity's kindness.
exactly.
Yeah.
How, from a guy's perspective, how do I lead well in a relationship without being controlling? So, I guess this is also more tailored to you, Banks, but once you're in a relationship, let's segue into that point. We're in a relationship now. So for the guys in the room, how can they lead a relationship well without it coming across as controlling or overbearing or helicopter or whatever the term is that they want to use?
For the guy being controlling or the girl?
The guy. Like, how can he lead well without it coming across as like just super controlling?
Yeah, that's still hard. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something you navigate every day,
Yeah.
even when you're married.
Yeah.
I would say for the girl it's a struggle too, but it depends on your personality.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
some people are more like, lead me, I love it. And then some girls are like, I want to lead too, and it's like,
Yeah. It just,
hard.
again, it's lead with honesty. And I think honesty will prevent you from having to control. And just be honest. And if the other person is being honest too, and how they feel, like you can't manipulate the situation. At that point, you just got to leave it up to God. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. I would even say too, like, don't be micromanaging. Like, don't be so focused on every tiny little thing that your girlfriend does if
Yeah.
we're talking to the men. Or, don't be so focused on every little, like, if you're being micromanaging, it's going to be a lot harder for her to trust you.
Are we talking about trying to control the outcome of the relationship?
Trying to
control them.
control the relationship. Like,
Yeah.
you're trying so well to lead
That-
and to keep the relationship going in the right direction, but you don't want to be controlling and to like be
Controlling of
manipulative.
their autonomy?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I would also.
That's weird.
But I think that's the
Truly,
I
that's-
think that's
It
the like
happens.
what's the line? Like,
Well, I would also say that, as a woman, this is my opinion, and I believe this is true, but you're not under your husband's covering until he's your husband.
Yeah.
So I think like leadership happens in the marriage. That's
Yeah.
what God intended, and when God intended that
Yeah.
for that to start. I do believe that it is healthy to start portraying, those types of things to an extent in a relationship. I think
Yes.
it's good for a husband to be
Yeah.
like, hey, like, I'm praying for you for that. I don't know, just like to be the leader still, but like it's just not to the same capacity. Like you're not
Yeah.
under your husband's covering. Don't
Yeah.
submit to that. That can get dangerous if you're in an unhealthy relationship because you're submitting to this guy that's like not even your husband. Like don't do that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, yeah. And that opens up a massive can of worms just in regard to doing marriage things while you're dating
Yeah.
never ends up well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So acting like a married couple when you're dating is just confusing. It's just weird. Like there's some things that are like take sex, take physical intimacy, for example. That is reserved for marriage. That's reserved for post-ceremony.
Yeah.
After the covenant is made before God with a minister present and your family and friends present, because that's where we see in the Bible marriage take place. You can't have this secret marriage like just in your bedroom or in, at your apartment and just consider you a married couple and then like you just did that so you could have sex. Some of you are like, bro, that happens? Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Go through the proper order, get married, and then do married things.
Yeah, that's good.
And emotionally, too, sometimes we emotionally entangle ourselves in relationships before they're actually marriage quality.
Yeah.
And just guarding your heart, generally,
I think one thing that comes to mind when tying like boundaries and that specific question together is when you get into a relationship, when you start dating, I would hope that you just go ahead and set some boundaries and just like know like, hey, we're not going to hang out past this time, or we're not going to be alone in our house together, or whatever those boundaries are that you need to set. And then for the men, a great way to lead without being controlling is to help keep those boundaries, like to do your best to make sure those boundaries are still being honored. And then as the woman in the relationship, like there's gonna be temptation all around in a relationship. It's hard. You love each other. Like you want to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
But if you get tempted in the relationship and then he's trying to keep the boundary in line, you have to honor him in letting him keep that boundary. And so that's you have to let him lead in that way.
Yeah,
and I think,
definitely. When it comes to boundaries, guy lead and girl don't make it like, too hard.
But in order for
Don't
him
make
to
it
lead, like there's so many cases
challenging.
where I hear like, oh, he just wasn't a great leader and he couldn't lead me in the relationship. But did you let him lead though? Were you constantly tempting him? Were you trying to push those boundaries?
Yeah.
Were you trying to get outside those lines and then becoming frustrated when he couldn't keep the boundaries when you're the one that's tempting him and you're not letting him lead? Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I think like it's a two-part thing, but in order for the guy to lead well, we have to let him lead well. And to your point, like don't submit like he's your husband,
Right.
but at the same time, if there are boundaries that you're trying to keep or whatever it is, like help him help you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say another thing I think would be good. I mean, obviously, now that I'm married, looking back, I'm like, okay, I think, obviously don't make it maybe the first conversation you have on your date, but I think asking the guy, be like, what are your physical boundaries? And then just let them, like, answer. Because I think sometimes guys just like say like whatever you want to do, like whatever is best for you, or like I will respect, and they're trying to be kind. I believe their intention is pure in saying, well, sometimes I believe their intention is pure in saying, I'll go along. I will agree, I will respect. Here's what they say: I will respect whatever your boundaries are. So they're saying like, okay, I'm not going to break your boundaries, but they're not having to cultivate or create boundaries of their own. They're not. Like they're actually like if you had set a different boundary, who knows? Would they have said that you were good? They were good with that. So I think it's like sometimes good. Like obviously don't scare the heck out of him, but like just being like maybe a couple dates in, like once you're starting to like feel closer or connected to them and think you're gonna start dating, like just being like, what are your boundaries, and letting him go first.
Oh gosh, I've been dying to say this. This speaks to their level of conviction.
Yeah. You're gonna
My
know.
goodness,
Instantly, you're gonna know.
It's basically, and remember what I said earlier, this speaks to their level of seeing God.
Yeah. It's hard.
If they're
It's a hard
willing to
area.
compromise their sexual purity, that speaks to their conviction. It speaks to how close they are to God.
Yeah.
And I think it shows their leadership skills too. I think when you're just having somebody that's like whatever you think, it's like,
If they
is it always going to be whatever I think? Like even when we're married, you know?
I'm so passionate about this. Like,
yeah, go babe.
and listen, I know couples are not perfect. We weren't perfect. We kissed way too long, many times. I touched Abby in areas I probably shouldn't have touched her, and I repented as fast as I could. And I don't mean to be inappropriate, but I'm just being honest.
Yeah, we want to be
But I'm
real.
telling you, there was conviction.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit, I grieved if I ever kissed Abby too long.
Yeah.
I grieved if I touched her in places I shouldn't have touched her.
Yeah.
Like it broke my heart in that season.
It like impacted him big, like crying big.
Yes. And again, it's so important. And here's the reality. A man who cannot control his sexual drive is a dangerous man. Okay? Is a dangerous man. Can that man make it? Absolutely. 100%. But that speaks to their level of self-control.
Yeah.
It speaks to the level of God's power at work in their body.
Amen.
If they can say no to one of the most desirable cravings that a man has, if he can say no to that consistently, oh, that guy, he has power at work in him.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much value in that. And to the men in the room who struggle with pornography, it's incredible when we can gain that sense of self-control. Like when God's Spirit works so much so in us to where we can say no to that, wow, it tees us up for success in marriage. Truly. I'm incredibly passionate about that. And if you're a man here and you struggle with pornography or you struggle with masturbation, because yes, they're the same thing, I would love to connect with you. I would love to connect you with one of our leaders at the well. I'd love to hold you accountable. Very passionate about it.
And same for the women, because it's not just guys. Like, I went through some of that stuff in my past, too, so I understand. And
Yeah,
you can come to me
yeah,
if
of course.
you're a woman and you're struggling with that, too, because it's not just guys.
And obviously, don't come to me if you're a woman struggling with that.
Please
I'd be
don't.
naive to say that
Just
women
come
don't
to me.
struggle with it as well. Obviously, I know that they do. And this is
Just a
something, and
reminder.
I'll share personally, that's something that I struggled with through college. But God delivered me.
Yeah.
He set me free.
That's right.
And he can do it for you in an instant,
do
in a
it.
moment.
He can do it.
Yeah.
Amen.
good.
Preach,
Yeah.
babe.
That's
Sorry.
so good.
I
I'm just
talked
sitting here like
too long.
listening, so like
What were we even talking about?
Please,
I don't even know.
text me, come find me after if that's something
Yeah.
that you struggle with.
yeah, so good. Well, to wrap up, let's hit on one last question, and this kind of hits on how do I word this? So if somebody is sitting here thinking, oh gosh, I've done all of those things that they're telling me not to do, or I feel like I am that person that struggles with my sexual purity, or I've gone too far in a relationship, how does somebody move on? And somebody asked, how do you move on and forgive mistakes that happened in a relationship? Is it worth it to rebuild that relationship, or should I start over with someone new? And is it worth it to even try again in a relationship? So once you've reached that point, how do you move on from that? If you're still in a relationship with the person, how can you move forward? Or if that relationship has ended, how do you as an individual move forward to then begin dating again in the future? It's a heavy question, I know, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's really applicable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is grace for all.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can take it too far. Like, God covers all.
Yeah.
And so if you are in this room and like,
Yes.
I had so many things I did before marriage that I regretted. So like, same.
Same.
So there's no shame. There's no like, oh my gosh, you're so bad for this.
Yeah.
But I do think like if you are going to continue with that same person that you have, crossed a lot of boundaries with, like you're both going to have a resolve to set new boundaries and listen to the Lord. And it is always harder once you've had a taste of something, because then you're kind of like more like, oh, well, we've already done it once, so we could go back.
Yeah.
But you're both gonna have to be on the same page. If it's
Yeah.
one of you, it's not gonna work. You should end the relationship. But I think if you're both committed to being pure, I mean, you can do it. And like Banks and I said, if you want us to, just help you be accountability, or not even us, but like there's so many amazing people in this church that could
couples.
help you be accountable. Like we had accountability partners when we were dating because it was just too hard. Like we were like, we need help. And that's real.
I burned for passion.
Yeah, he burned. And he would just step
Paul
out
said.
sometimes and just call Brian Porzio. He'd be like, Brian, I need you. And I would just be like, where did he go? He's like talking to Brian on the
I'd
phone.
leave, I'd go get in my car, and I'd punch the steering wheel as hard as I could. Just
He just called Brian. We thank God for Brian. But
I love Brian.
so true, though.
yeah, I think that there can be hope. I think there are scenarios though when there's not. Like I said, if the other person like doesn't feel that conviction that you feel, I'd say that's a pretty strong
red flag.
indicator that you
Huge
should
red flag.
you should walk away. Like if they're
Huge.
not feeling
Yeah.
convicted.
Yeah. And like, of course, people who don't have, well, I'm going to be slower to speak. Never mind.
I was going to say, one thing that I did feel like the Lord impressed upon my heart to say, like today while I was just thinking, praying, is, and this is somewhat related, but also not, I wrote it down. I said, have a one strike you're out rule with violence or sexual assault.
Very good.
So I'm only speaking on that because I have been through violence in a past relationship, and I started thinking today, I was like, God, what is something that you want me to say? And that was it. And I think that's because when I was in that relationship, I never told anybody about any of the abuse or anything like that. It was a 4-year relationship. And so I felt like if I had heard someone say it, it at least would have made me think. It doesn't mean that it would have made me break up with him immediately, but it would have made me go home and go, oh man, I don't need to be in this.
Yeah.
And so one strike you're out rule with violence. A thing is like, okay, he made a mistake. Like he just threw something at me. It's not a big deal. Like it does progress. I've been in an abusive relationship. If it's something thrown at you, eventually it's normally you getting shoved and then it gets worse and worse and worse. So just take it from me, like I'm not trying to be like overshare. I'm just trying to say like it was really traumatic for me. And like if you're in something like that, you can come find me privately. But I would highly encourage you to exit immediately. Like, no, you don't waste another day doing that. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your kids. What I would do before I broke up with this guy is I started thinking about my future kids and thinking about them getting harmed. And now that I have a daughter, when I think about that and I think about, thank God that I picked this man right here and that I don't have somebody who would put her in danger.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that every day. So that's my
That's
little piece
great,
of
Abby.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I'll just kind of address that in just like a closing statement. For me, when it comes to failing and rebuilding a relationship, I'm confused. Is it worth it? Should we keep going? Should we not? I think it's just different, case by case. Definitely seek counsel on it. You know, Abby's right. God's grace is wildly sufficient. And He can meet you. He can show up. He can restore everything. He can redeem the craziest of situations. But I will say it's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. It's going to be challenging to rebuild. But there's certainly a path, and He can craft that path for you, but you just need to be close to Him. And the second thing, just to close, for me, unless you have anything else, Maggie, I hate Satan almost as much as I hate God, almost as much as I love God.
Whoa.
I hate Satan almost as much as I love God.
We're all like, oh my gosh.
Truly, I really do. I hate the enemy. And it's funny, the more that I love God, the closer I get to Him, the more I hate the enemy. And it's just amazing. God's so beautiful. He's so good. His Spirit is available.
Yeah.
And His power is available for you. His direction, He wants to order your steps. He wants to lead you and guide you. He wants to bring you in a relationship with somebody who is godly. Proverbs 31:30, I posted a video about it on Instagram today. It's just such a powerful verse. And you can apply this verse to a lot of different areas of life, but it's speaking of a woman and a godly woman, who can find? Proverbs 31:30 says that charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. You're sitting there like, bro, your wife's gorgeous. She's beautiful. Yes, for sure. But that's not why I married her.
Yeah.
And number two, I'm learning in marriage that physical attraction is not the thing that sustains marriage.
Amen.
It's not. It's two people who are wholeheartedly chasing after God together.
It's the only way.
That's the only way
Yeah.
that you'll be able to build a marriage that truly lasts throughout your lifetime. And that godliness, those characteristics, those virtues that Proverbs 31 speaks of, they are more precious than silver and gold. They age like a fine wine.
Yeah.
This woman right here, she's going to age like a fine wine.
You too, babe.
And I'm so thankful that I married a godly woman. And so I'd encourage all of you guys to consider doing that as well. Be equally yoked.
I was going to say two really quick things, and they kind of are connected. That was supposed to be a conclusion. But this
it's
kind of
okay.
goes along with that. I was going to say, today I wrote down, like, thinking about, like, who you want to find or whatever, and I said, bodies and faces change, but who a person is at their core stays relatively the same. So that's what you want to center finding somebody around. Like, yes, you shouldn't be like, I'm repulsed by them. Like, you should definitely be attracted to them to some point. But I was going to say, in terms of, like, attraction with sexuality, you spend a lot less time than you think you do, like, having sex once you're married, okay? Like, yes, we have a healthy sex life, to be honest, but, like, it's not something you're doing all the time. I Googled today how much time you're spending doing that kind of stuff. It's 0.31%. So I really hope that you don't build the foundation of your dating relationship on sexual stuff, because I'm sorry, but you're going to be real disappointed when you get married and
It's
you have
so
to
true.
get to know the person for a lot more than that.
It's the
All
cold,
of your
hard
problems,
facts.
all of the good things. That's
Yeah.
like a tiny little sliver.
Yeah.
So a lot of, like, people in dating relationships are like, I'm worried. Like, we have had sex and, like, we're trying to wait, but, like, I want to make sure we have sexual chemistry. Like, okay, like, you're both, like, you'll figure it out. Like, it's not about that. Don't base your dating
Conviction.
relationship on sex, because
Yeah.
you're going to be doing it about this much of the time.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
be loving on your kids. You're going to
Yeah.
be, like, cultivating growth between the two of you. You're going to
Watching
be
Ocean's 11
yeah,
together.
watching movies. Like, you're going to be doing so much other cool stuff.
Hanging
Like,
out.
it's not that big
And
of
you're
a
going
deal.
to argue, and
It's not
you're
that
not just
big.
going to not
Yeah, you're
argue
gonna
because the
argue.
other is hot.
No, you're like, I don't care that you're hot right now. You're annoying. Like, you don't care about sex.
It's
so
literally
much.
out of the head.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
So I'm just being real about
isn't
that.
that
'Cause I used
wild
to
though
think
how
that
that
was
happens?
everything.
Isn't that wild how that happens?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm obviously still attracted to you.
No, I know, but when we're mad,
And I
we're
love
like,
you and you're beautiful.
Can't even look
but
at
like that's it doesn't float my boat.
No. Well, what matters is who you are at the core.
That's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It's the godliness in you. It's her heart. Like, I'm telling you, y'all are gonna have this epiphany one day. It's wild.
Yeah.
Marry a godly person.
Yeah.
It appreciates. Godliness appreciates in
Yeah.
value over time.
And the
Physical
more you get
attraction depreciates.
And the more you get to know somebody too, like their personality and their love for the Lord will make them more attractive. So
Yeah,
it's going to come
absolutely.
even more and more.
Absolutely.
You're going to find your spouse more and more attractive the more you're married, and you can see how much they love the Lord. And
That's good.
We have a man over here who he serves on the worship team. Is it Blake? You've been married for how long, Blake? 19 years. I mean, you know way more than we know up here. And godliness, does it not appreciate in value over time?
He said yes.
And how many, y'all have a son? I know. Do y'all have a son and a daughter? Amazing. Praise God. Praise God.
That's something you can build on. He said the sex is great too. Amen. Hey,
That's so
God
good.
bless you.
That's
my
so good.
word,
That's awesome.
so good. Well, to close, I would just say, to kind of wrap up everything that we've talked about, I think the two biggest things in my head that I just want to make sure people leave with are, to the single people, God wants you to be in a relationship. He wants to share that desire. He gave you that desire. If that's something in your heart, he gave it to you. And so don't feel like you're just sitting there with this desire, and the more you think about it, the more you're departing from the Lord. If that becomes your main focus, then yeah, it's going to draw you away from the Lord. But if you take that desire that you have in your heart and you truly give it to the Lord and say, I want what you want with this. I recognize the desire that I have in my heart, but I want it the way you intend for it and the way you have it for me. He's going to do all that he can, and he's going to provide for you, and you're going to be so much happier. And then for the people in the room who are in a relationship, do it in a way that honors God. And what I hope you got from this conversation is how to do it in a way that honors God. And if you have been in a relationship and it hasn't been honoring to the Lord, change the direction.
Yeah.
Like, change the narrative. And if you're trying to change the narrative and the person that you're in a relationship with is not willing, it might be time to do some serious thinking. But it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It really, really, really is not. And to the men in the room, if you're the one that's changing the direction, stay strong. Stay strong, stay strong. And to the women, if he's trying to lead in a better way, let him lead. So I literally have like 1,200 million more questions, and these aren't even all of the ones that I'm still getting questions that people are submitting through this podcast episode that we just did. So we might have to record another one off stage and post it.
It'll be fun.
So we've kind of been talking about it, but we'll make it happen this time because we just have a lot of questions. And these questions were great, like really great. And I'm kind of like, oh, I want to just keep going, but
I love that they came from our community too, because it shows the heartbeat of like where we're at.
Yeah.
And we're all in this together, you know.
yeah,
and
these
I
are
like that.
literally questions we pulled straight from that form.
Yeah.
So if you do have more questions, please keep submitting them. This QR code, once it disappears, it'll be rotating after service. So feel free to keep submitting them, and we'll answer them coming up soon.
There are other couples at the well, too, that come around, married couples.
Yeah.
And so if you're a couple who is pursuing one another seriously, come find one of these couples like Manny and Finley. I know they'd be happy to help consult and help lead and guide. You know, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I just kind of know that's true of y'all. There are other couples like that, too, so.
Yeah. Well, can we give it up for Banks and Abby on the podcast? Thanks for coming. Love you guys.